on the heels of destroying all of the planets in the Cosmic Calibration Update, 4 Stars Reach, comes a Brave New World update that changes a lot. I'm Controlled Chaos. In this video, we're going to go over the main points to this update. Let's get things going. First off, new worlds. They have replaced all the worlds. So there's no Rhodian 4, there's no Zeraxa, there's no Gallimar, there's no Pyramesis, and there's no Escrin. Those are gone. They are wiped, and there are reasons to that. One, they are getting ready for 24/7. They want to put in a new graphics system pipeline and things like that on how things look. And also they're changing up the way the wild wormhole works to have it occasionally pop up. And then on top of that, they are adding in the rarity system, starting with metals and gems. So they have to get rid of all the characters too, because we have our inventories full with the metals and gems, and they can't just sit there and go, okay, those automatically get this. No, you need to do it right. You need to clear everything out. That and leaving those in there and trying to manipulate and change the code on that stuff there could add more bugs that would not actually be sort of in a real world situation. But let's go over a few other things that have happened. First time user experience. This is another good reason to wipe the characters, because now all the players have to go through the first time user experience and give their feedback on it. This is a tutorial that mainly goes over movement and using a couple of devices such as the terraformer. And this is a good thing, and at the end of it, they now get to choose a profession. You're not just given a class and given all of the weapons and tools. You now choose a profession, and that profession determines what skills are unlocked for you and how much of those skills are unlocked for you, along with your equipment. And the following professions are Intrepid Explorer, Valiant Soldier, Brainy Scientist, Diligent Crafter, and Peaceful Settlers. And I've played a bunch of different ones of these. I played the Valiant Soldier, the Intrepid Explorer, and the Diligent Crafter, along with the Peaceful Settler. And I can tell you now, for like instance, the Valiant Soldier, they will get the drones for their weapons, they'll get the fortified shields, they will get the terraformer, and they will get the grappling hook, and then they'll get some of the combat skills unlocked dealing with the drones, and it's really nice that way. Then for like the instance, the Diligent Crafter does not get a weapon. Instead, they get the terraformer, they get the harvester, they get the Xeno Slicer, and they get the grappling. In fact, all of them get the grappling. That's the one thing that's spread across the board for all of them. And then they get some crafting skills unlocked, which really helps out. With the change of these planets, they've added in a new way that we get to these planets. We're still going through portals, but they're not spread throughout the solar system. Instead, there's now the TPL starbase that you'll go to. And this is sort of a nice hub that has been built and designed by Dave Jordanson. I think he did an amazing job with this starbase. It is a nice hub. It gives multiple space areas to play in. We get the mission boards, we get the title shop, we get the Hall of Fame area, which is in the main center floor of this whole entire thing, where you can hover over the plaques and will have the name show of the backer that paid for that level or above. That gives the Hall of Heroes. I think that is really, really nice. The design is nice on this. The way this is done is really, really good. It's fun. It's got a marketplace, it's got park, it's got theater, it's got relife center, central, like I said, social hub area. People were dancing in and doing things. There's also fabricators placed all over the place. So you got your cooking, you got your tools smith, you got your lathe, then you got your refiner all there, which is nice and fun. And then there's an area for the portals for the 3 worlds, which is nice. And then you can also fly off if you want to go try find the wild wormhole or mess around with the asteroid field that this is all in. Now, speaking of mission boards, these are on the starbase that was made. And these are really good because this is how we get the new currency, which is called Kletus. And right now, the way it's set up is you earn this money, this Kletus currency, by doing missions. Then you can spend it by buying titles right now. That is the only thing you can do. You cannot trade it with other players at this point in time. This is just the very beginning of adding in currency and things like that. We already have trading put in. We can trade resource for resource, but we can't trade resource or an item for currencies yet. I'm pretty sure that's going to come up soon. They just want to make sure that the basic flow of money is working out. As Ralph Costner says, it's sort of like the sink. We put in the basics of the faucet, which is the money coming in, which is through the mission boards. Then we got the sink, which is basically pulling up that money, pulling on top of money. And then we have the drain, which is currently this whole entire thing of the title board, which has some really interesting titles. And one title at the very, very bottom that I thought was very interesting is called Hacker. And it's like 999999 Klaxis. And I'm guessing that is a hint for people to try to break the economy. Try to make it some way that you can easily get that huge amount of Klaxis to be able to buy the hacker thing. And if you do, report it, please, because, that's just unfair and would heavily break the economy. And we don't want that for this kind of game where the economy is player-based. So with that going on, when talking about the rarities, you can check that out by hitting the F1 key and going to resources. The F1 key is your help menu, and resources is rare. They'll apply the amount of resource you'll find gather on planet. It means that they generate on planets. Some resources will occur more or less commonly than others. So over the course of the exploration of various planets, you will find certain resources to be more rare than others. But once you find a rare metal or gem on the planet, there might be quite a bit of it there. So you'll have to do some digging to find it once you find the rare resources. I think this is really good. This adds to the future of the economy, adding in rarity of stuff, because then that gauges a price. The rarer something is, the more expensive it is. The more common its abundancy, the less you pay for it. And then there's also the inventory screen refractor. They've basically merged the clothing tab and the toolbar tab into one screen. So now when you go into your inventory, you're going to see the row for your toolbar and then the row for your clothing, which is really, really nice. They also made aesthetic changes to the icons. The icons pop so much better. There's an actual good lighting field to it. It's got good highlights and shades and values to it, and look really nice and feel so much better. Also, the PQRV stats are easily accessible by clicking the show stats on radio buttons, which is a really great improvement there. And then there's also the improved rendering of flora. They have increased the flora rendering, which actually makes this look really nice. They've also working on other methods to improve, which will happen later. A few other things that they've added into this build is ice. Falling meteors now drop ice, which will melt into water. So they put in a way to add water to a planet. I love that one. That is amazing. I was wondering how they were going to do that. If water gets used up on a planet, they have a way of doing that, which is really nice. The foundation tile is now available. Again, in the basic set for the fabricator, really good. Antimatter and aluminium recipes are now available as they should be. Creature taming food stuff will make more logical sense. This creature taming in itself has not been improved. They've just made more sense of what foods for what creatures. So you're not going to walk up to a carnivore and want to feed it a vegetable or a fruit. They're going to be more interested in meat. Whereas if you walk up to the deer, they're going to be more interested in the bushes, the grasses, the seeds, and the fruits and berries and vegetables type of stuff. That's really good there. Loot drops for creatures and makers have been improved significantly and rebalanced. I like that they're adjusting and feeling how it goes. Combat tips have been added to the F1 screen to explain color coding and danger rating system to new players. So if you're new to the game, you'll definitely want to check that out because the color coding system will save your life. I can tell you now, I went out there doing some of the combat missions and got my butt kicked. And that's one thing I want to mention about the combat system and the mission system working together. It will send you a really hard mission and it will tell you how hard that creature is to fight in the mission. They use the color coding in the mission description, which I love. That is a smart move of the developers to do that because then you can tell, can I solo this? Or do I need to bring up a group? Because I chose one where it was orange. I was able to fight yellows. And I thought, okay, well, yellows weren't too hard. And I thought I'd pack of yellows. I should be able to fight one orange. I go out to fight that one orange. It 3-shot me and I was down. I was like, okay, I need to get a group of friends for this. We need to bring some firepower because I was on the soldier and I had the fortress shield up and it still 3-shot me. It probably will 1-shot me without the fortress shield. So that's where you need to group up. And the great thing is you don't need to actually officially form a group. You just need to tell people, hey, I got a really bad creature over here. I need to take out. Who wants to help me? And people, I'm telling you, the community will come running. We had it happen when the boss mob space shark showed up near the wild wormhole. Someone mentioned it and we all ran out to go fight it. There was a group of like 10 of us fighting it and flying around space and having fun. And it's just nice. This game for quite some time now, even in early alpha, the player base is building a community and wanting to help one another. But let's get back to the patch notes. They fixed the slide back 3 steps when you enter a world bug. So when you would load into a world and you'd go walk forward, instead you'd step backwards 3 steps and then start walking forward. That bug has been fixed. The overcharge now has audio. So there's now an audio effect when you overcharge something. Really nice there. Overall, my experience with this update is great. I love the changes that they made. I like the fact that they're showing off what they can do with building and making this space station. I like that effect. The portals for right now, because we don't have spaceships, the way they're doing the portals is great. It's fine. I love the mission systems. I'm enjoying that because you are able with the missions. You'll see in the upper left side, you'll see a little button that says missions, and you can click on it and we'll do a drop down and show you your missions. And from there, you're actually able to abandon missions, which is the developers thinking ahead of, oh, I chose something that's too difficult, or there's a bug with this mission, and instead of being stuck and blocked from being able to take more missions, they put in the abandon capability, which prevents from blocked bugs coming in, and they're thinking ahead in what would cause bugs, a bug of a bug type of situation. So if one of your missions for some reason got bugged and they didn't have the abandoned mission button there, there'd be another bug there because you wouldn't be able to get rid of the mission to take a different mission and try retesting and reproing that bug and stuff like that. So the developers were extremely smart on that. The graphical overhauls that they've mentioned with the icons in the UI and the flora is amazing. It's nice. One thing I'm noticing that's a little bit different from the last build is lighting. Lighting in the world seems different. I don't know if it's just me or what, because I did have a light drone in the last build, but things seem darker now. Really, really dark and hard to see at times, which in all honesty I really like, because it's making me heavily miss my light drone, and it's one of the things I want to get crafted right away. Just like my grav mesh, I'm missing my grav mesh. In this test, I was constantly hitting my spacebar, expecting to go flying off with the grav mesh, and like, oh, that's right, I don't have a grav mesh anymore. There are pieces of equipment that were addictive with this lighting system that I'm seeing in this update that's not talked about. So I don't know if it's an actual lighting change or if it's just me and what I remember from the last build, but it seems different. And I'm missing my light orb. I'm gonna have to reach out to a crafter and make some kind of trade to get a light orb and also a grav mesh, which the crafters were saying, hey, anyone have some antimatter so that I can build grav meshes. And so that's already going on in the whole entire, hey, I'll trade you this for this. I'll give you this piece of equipment. You give me this stuff. We're seeing the economy starting to take effect besides just the currency of the Klatus. And I think that is amazing that it's already starting to happen. And it's going to be really fun. I'm extremely, extremely excited for this, because the great thing is you normally think that, oh, when they put economy in the game, majority of the time, the soldiers don't participate in it much because they're just selling items. You know, you're going to sell your resources to the crafters, and then the crafters are going to make the weapons, and there's going to be this not just one way back and forth. There's going to be a 3-way, 4-way, interaction going on, where it's going to create a circle effect, and it's already an effect of the soldiers go out and get like the meats and some of the gases from some of the creatures, and then they sell it to the crafters. The crafters make an item with that stuff, whether it be food or some other item with the gases, and then they sell it to another person, whether it be a crafter, a harvester, an explorer, a settler, whatever it be, or another soldier. And I think for the start, this is really good. I'm happy with what they did. I only had one crash during the whole entire 3-hour playtest. And speaking of playtests, from the date of this video being released, which is July 25th, this weekend, around July 27th, they are doing a 36-hour straight test. If you can get on to play, get on to play. Help stress test the servers and stuff like that. It'll be a good movement forward to the 24/7 test, which a lot of us players are already really craving. I know I am. On the days I can't get on, I am wanting to play. I'm jonesing to play. And in a way, that's a good thing. In a way, it's a bad thing. I broke the habit of craving to play games and managing that, and Raph and the team have broken that in me. And so I'm having to retrain myself on that. And that's in a way, a nice, pleasant surprise to a game. I haven't felt that in, oh God, over about 20 years now. I haven't felt that kind of urge where I have to get in the game. I have to go and do this. I want to go do this now. And so that's greatly appreciated. But overall, Let me know what you guys think of this update. Are you guys excited for this update? What do you think about this update? Does this make you more interested in the game if you haven't seen it before? Things like that I want to know from you guys. I want to thank you guys all for watching, and YouTube thinks you will enjoy this video next. Have a great day.